announcements. You'll just hold up your hand. The usher will bring okay, a microphone to you. And you can speak at that time. Well, tonight at 5 o'clock, trustee meeting tomorrow night at 6:30. Social concerns at 6:30. What am I missing? Mother's Club at 7. Tuesday night, worship committee meeting at 6:30. Am I missing any meetings? No. Announce that again. Changes, hours, we're good? Okay, wonderful. Happy Mother's Day. We have gifts for you. For those of you that do not already have a father, we'll have a gift. Bring you one after a while during the children's time. So just hang loose. You going down? All right. Let me ask you, are there any words of wisdom you want to share with us this morning? Just hold up your hand.
This Mother's Day, we'd like to tell you about the Father's Day outings. We're doing 2 the day before on Saturday. At 8 o'clock, there is a breakfast for fathers and their children at 8 o'clock. At 9 o'clock, we are having an outing to the Pusher Bat Company, which is in Valparaiso, Indiana. They make bats for professional baseball players. You can see the bat that Sammy Sosa used, and they have other bats. They go through the process about how that's done. That's also for fathers and their children. We have sign-up sheets back there that you can sign up for the breakfast, for the outing, or for both. We have a second sign-up sheet. It's for July 16th. This is our first visit to the Silverhawks. This one, it's the first 20 who get to go. I noticed that we're almost about halfway there already. So there's a sign-up sheet for the Silverhawks game on the 16th of July. So 14th of June, 2 Father's Day outings, sign-up sheets, 16th of July, 1 outing, Silverhawks. I now go to the night for my wife.
Happy Mother's Day. 1 month from today, on June the 7th and 8th, is the Yellow River Festival. We need workers on Saturday the 7th from 9:30 to 6, and there's a sign-up sheet in the back, and also on Sunday from 10 to 3. So if you would help us out, we encourage, well, the Yellow River Festival encourages authentic 1800 things, and one is a tent. We have our tent on order to be authentically 1800. We need funds, so if any of you would like to donate to buy the tent for us to use, this is the mission committee, for us to use during that, and then other groups could also use it. Please see Carol, Mike, me, anyone on the missions committee. So June the 7th and 8th, workers and donations to buy the tent. Thank you.
This coming Saturday is the Change the World Saturday. This is in conjunction with other Methodist churches in the area. We are required by the bishop to do a cluster grouping. We have T-shirts that we want to sell. I picked them up yesterday afternoon in Cincinnati. They are Change the World. If you would like to purchase one, they are $10 a piece. They're on the back table back there. I don't write a check out to the church because it'll just confuse my system. If you'll just give me the cash, I'll reimburse my son-in-law who made all these. In fact, I owe him $400, so if you can help me out. So, the shirts are for sale. Also, if you are going to donate blood and you have not let us know yet, please, we need to call the office this week. We need to get that in, and we need to get you a time. The blood draw will be at the Webster Center, which is right on Finlay, this coming Saturday morning. We're done with the proper way. We were going to have a mobile unit here, but they double booked and they can't come here, so we ended up having to go to the Webster. Sure.
Today is the auction at the United Church of Christ at 2 o'clock. It's the fundraiser for the mission trip that the ASK group is going on. And then Christian
part of Change the World Day, there is a sewing project here at our church that you've never heard about. If anyone wants to take a pattern and cut out a little outfit, that would be great. Or if you can't come and help Saturday, that would be one way to help. But also, even if you don't sew, we need people to press the seams and to press the garments. So just come and enjoy and help wherever you can Saturday. Thank you.
All the projects for Change the World are back on the display. If you need to know where it is, when it is, and what time it starts and what time it's over, please check with that. There are times and dates and locations on each one of those. Any other words of wisdom for us this morning?
There is one.
Please.
Next weekend, on Saturday during the service, we'll have the graduation Sunday ceremony for our high school graduates, but we'll also recognize anyone who's graduating from a post-secondary institution or program. So please come and join us.
Okay, thank you.
If you have not yet had the chance to enjoy the Maxim Cuppy Singers, we have 3 shows coming up this week. Rochester on Monday night, Wednesday night in Culver, and Thursday night we'll be over here at the first UCC. All those shows are at 7:30, and we'd love to see you.
Okay, thank you. To all of our visitors and our guests this morning, thank you for being here. I think some of you came from some faraway places to be a part of this worship experience. We hope this goes well. Are you ready to worship?
that I am not going to be speaking this morning. However, we have a wonderful Mother's Day video that will make you smile, during which our lovely children, with the help of our ushers, will be passing out our gift for you this morning.
Are you guys sure you got this?
Yeah, twins are plugged in, baby's asleep, hard to put this in.
We're men. Besides, I bumped into Chuck Norris at a Pizza Hut once. I think his powers rubbed off on me.
Get out of here. Go on, enjoy your mommy getaway weekend.
This weekend was a bad idea. Remember what happened last time we watched the kids? I'm not a pinata! Yeah, we're gonna need help.
Warning, use of this product may alter your perception of reality. All right, everything looks the same. This is a joke.
Guys, it's like the Sahara in this cup. Can somebody hit me with some juice? And listen, Paul, doesn't make a difference to me. You're the one dealing with the diaper.
Mom goggles.
It's beautiful!
Okay, sweetie, I need you to sit on your bottom. Listen to Daddy. Sit on your bottom, okay? Daddy's gonna come get you. Sit on your bottom. Daddy's gonna come get you.
Don't you try to stop me. Where are your mom goggles? It wouldn't fit up on my head without food. Take this.
So cute, baby.
And then the little boy rocked his mommy. Oh, I love you. Forever. I like you too.
I don't know how they do it.
Oh, well, you take it and you fold it from corner to corner.
No, I'm asking the question, how do moms do all of this? How do they handle it all?
Well, maybe they have goggles we don't know about.
It's as if God gave moms a special way of looking at things, you know? Okay, who taught you servanthood? Who modeled grace? Who gave you a taste of what God's love could look like?
My mom, Mr. T, and my mom.
Anyway, I just think God gave moms a special way of looking at things. Hey, honey.
Hey, how's it going at home?
It's all good. guess you could say I'm starting to catch a glimpse of what your world looks like.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Hold on, your daughter wants to say something to you. She says she misses you. And she realizes how important you are in life. And she has value to it. And she knows that she can't make it without you.
She said all that.
I don't know if she said it. But it's what I wanted to say. And I should have said it a lot sooner. I thank God for you. The twins. It was nothing. We have to go, okay? Love you, Mommy.
This place is like a pigsty.
Let's take a few moments and share our joys and concerns together. Let me tell you this. Shirley Donaldson has not been in our church since November the 5th of last year. Most of you know that she had open heart surgery and some things about that didn't go well. She was back here in the sanctuary this morning. We welcomed her back. So we're glad to see she's on the road to recovery. Bob Harris, Beverly asked to continue to put his name on your prayer list. And then Steve asked me to mention his sister, Terry Duell, been diagnosed with cancer, and we'd like to have prayers for her, if you would please. Okay, let me ask you, are there joys and or concerns you would like to share with us? Just hold up your hand, one of the ushers will bring you.
Today's Kelsey's 25th birthday.
I know we've got 3 or 4 others in here. Dorothy, and then your birthday's coming up on Tuesday, is that? Okay, anybody else birthdays this week? You hold up your hand, but you're not sure? You were there, right? Okay, is that all we have birthdays to do? All right, let's sing happy birthday. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, God bless you. Happy birthday to you. All right, other words of wisdom to share with us, joys, concerns this morning, all right, Brian?
Linda and I just got back from Florida. We were fortunate enough to spend 2 days with my brother Don. He's in the prayer list. He does have cancer. It's spread out through his whole body, and he doesn't have much time left. He's not suffering at the time. He's just losing weight like crazy. Last time he was 147 pounds. If you remember my brother, he's taller than I was, him. So he's only got a matter of time. He meets our Maker.
Thank you for sharing that. We'll add on. Anybody else? Very good. If you would be kind enough then to take the hand of somebody next to you. What a wonderful time it is for us to gather in our sanctuary this morning as we nationally recognize all women who are among us. We're holding up their strengths, their gifts, their graces, their wisdom, their values and standards, because they are the ones who raised us and set us on our path. Thank you for our time together as we honor them this day. recognizing them. Thank you for our time together as we lift up our prayer concerns for Shirley Donaldson, and Bob Harris, Terry Duell, and Don Atkins. For all of our guests and visitors who traveled long ways to be with us. Thank you for the mothers among us. For the concerns of our hearts, our families, our church, our community, our state, our nation, and our world. We give you thanks as we undergird all of our joys and all of our concerns by reciting of the Lord's Prayer together. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory forever. Amen. Why don't we stand together this morning? Let's greet each other and welcome them to this sanctuary in our time.
We are grateful, Almighty and merciful God, for this opportunity to invest in eternal souls that will never die, in a cause that will never fail, and in truths that will never go out of date. You may now be seated.
On the back page of your bulletin, you'll find our scripture lesson. If you can stand with me, please. Ralph, if you'd be nice enough to scroll through. This is from the book of Proverbs, Old Testament, last chapter. Written by Solomon. This is what he believes to be the perfect wife and wife. Read with me, please, as we find this to be the inspired word of God. A wife of noble character, who can find? She is worth far more than rubies. Her husband has full confidence in her and lacks nothing of value. She watches over the affairs of her household and does not eat of the bread of idleness. Her children arise and call her blessed. Her husband also, and he praises her. Many women do noble things, but you surpass them all. Charm is deceptive, and beauty is fleeting. But a woman who fears the Lord is to be praised. Honor her for all that her hands have done, and let her works bring her praise at the city gate. This is the word of God. Thank you. Won't you be seated, please? Would you bow with me, please? Let's be in a moment of prayer to prepare ourselves for receiving of today's message. Lord, for the quiet of the moment that we share together, for the honoring the ladies of our church, churches, of our community, of our society, of our culture, of our world. We honor them this day. We thank you that they have been an integral part of our life, sacrificing their bodies to bring life into the world, sacrificing in some cases career, other plans have become the watchword of our homes. Others that we share remember grandparents, the women in our lives. Today we honor them. We ask, Lord, by the power of the Holy Spirit, you would be with us as we worship this day in this place. It's in Jesus' name that we pray. My magazine ran an article not too long ago about a former First Lady. I give the word. Ralph, you'll have to scroll through the number. There she is. Anybody remember her? President of the 43rd President of the United States. But she says in this article that she went to her in-laws' house, which was former President, 41st President, George H.W. Bush and Barbara in their home in Texas. Now, George W. arises early in the morning, as he always has. He's about 6 o'clock. And he went downstairs in his mom and dad's house to get a cup of coffee. And he retrieves the coffee, and he comes back out into the living room, and he sits down on the sofa and puts his feet up on the coffee table. At that moment, you hear these words of wisdom. Get your feet off my coffee table. And the 41st president says to his wife, Barbara, for heaven's sake, he is the president of the United States. And Barbara says, well, one more. I don't care. I don't want his feet on my coffee table. Besides, even the presidents have to listen to their mother. Today we honor womanhood in our lives. Now, I'm going to ask you a question, but I don't want, and I really don't want a vocal response. So I'm just going to ask you, and I want you to think about this. If I were to ask you, which grave site is the most frequently visited grave site in America, what would you say? Abraham Lincoln? George Washington? Martin Luther King? Elvis? Well, I'm afraid you'd be wrong with all of those. Well, this thing's dead. Her name is Marie Laveau. She's not a president, she's not a writer, she's not a musician. She's a voodoo priestess. Lived in New Orleans in the early 1800s. That's why we don't have a picture. We have paintings of her, but we don't have a picture of her. She's one of those priestesses who dances and chants and plays drums and creates amulets and all kinds of things to, one, ward away evil, and to two, bring you good luck. Now, popular site for a grave in America today? Well, New Orleans has become a focal city of spiritual freedom, believe it or not, all because of voodoo. It's a resurgence that is taking place in the city of New Orleans. One priest has said, you know, we've got lots of people who come to our church. I guess they call it a church. We have doctors and lawyers and teachers and cab drivers. And she said this. She said, people turn to voodoo because there's an increasing depression in our culture for spiritual meaning and direction. Americans today are hungry for spiritual fulfillment, and voodoo offers a direct experience with the sacred that appeals to more and more and more people, end quote. Scares me that we're turning to voodoo in America for a spiritual direction. But you know, studies show that Americans seem to be fascinated and sometimes hunger for the mystical, the mysterious, and the otherworldly. Students of traditional worship practices report that the hottest worship trend in America today is among the young people called millennials. That is the age group from roughly 18 to 35. And they want to recover the ancient liturgies of years ago. These young seekers say that they are tired of what they perceive to be a superficiality of contemporary worship service. And typically what they want to discover is those mystical chants, those songs, those hymns, those prayers of ancient worship, and they're deep into Bible study. Don't let me mislead you by what they're doing. They are deep into this. Looking for spiritual fulfillment. They want to find the awe and the majesty of God once again. And if I would say it to you in a word, what they're looking for is the divine. Perhaps there has not been a greater time in America than today in recent history for Americans who want to reach out and touch God. That all says that there is something lacking in relationship between us and our Father. Speaking of relationship, there's no more relationship that is important to us, no more intimate than the relationship between a mother and her child or children, other than the relationship that you have with your God. Jesus said this world was designed for love and family and relationships and intimacy and acceptance in this world today. It's good that we have set aside a calendar day where we can honor womanhood and Mother's Day and the home in our worship service and all that that means to us. All that that means to us. Thank you, Rabbi. After all, it is in the home where we learn who we are. It's in the home where we learn our identity. It's where we establish ourselves and learn at home what we are to be doing, the values and standards that are given to us by our family. Being a mother in the 1930s or 1940s is no different than today's supermom. Early impressionable years of our life are where we are imprinted with the values from our mothers, and those standards and values and biases and attitudes are all given to us. And they are imprinted on our minds by the time we're, 4 or 5, up to age 8 roughly? I know people today who are in their 70s or 80s are still listening to mom. They can hear her. They know what she said. It's in our homes that we learn who we are. Let's go to the next one. We also learn what is expected of us. We call it family values today. Nice term, but it is an important issue with what's happening in our world. For more than 20 years, educator Dennis Traeger has been asking high school seniors this question. If you saw a dog and a stranger drowning, if you saw a dog and a stranger drowning, which one would you say? You will be amazed at the answer. Here's what he found. 1/3 opted for the dog. 1/3 opted for the stranger. And 1/3 said the question is too difficult to answer. Not one student, says Prager, has ever said that the students who opted to save the dog were wrong. See, that was his second question that he asked me. If you said you would save the stranger, did the people who said they would save the dog, are they wrong? The answer was, look, I personally feel that I should save the stranger, but if they feel they should save the dog. Prager contends that with a 20 years personal survey of his own, that the feeling of love has supplanted God and religious principles as the moral guide for our young people today. What is considered right has been redefined in the terms of the feeling of whatever emotion I'm feeling at the moment. It's called situational ethics. You do whatever you feel like doing at the moment. The point that Prager is making is this, is that many people in today's world have no fixed point of reference for their values, except for what they feel is the right thing to do. And we all know about feelings, don't we? They are as fickle and unreliable even as the feeling of love. Humorist and comedian Dave Brahe offers this funny little side of love. He writes, and I quote, "Love can be wonderful, but it can also be very destructive. It can cause people to lie, to cheat, to commit murder, and worst of all, write song lyrics like this. Why do birds suddenly appear every time you walk near?" Remember the song? 1970s mega hit by the Carpenters, Close to You. David Brahe continues, "You have to ask yourself, quite frankly, do you want to be near somebody who causes birds to suddenly appear?" Didn't Alfred Hitchcock do a movie? Brahe is obviously speaking tongue-in-cheek, but it's true. He knows and we know that we need a more reliable gauge. We need a better moral compass than just to look at our emotions about life. We need principles. We need standards. We need values. We need to understand what is God's plan for our lives, and we should have learned those at home, and we should be teaching them. Lastly, the home should be a place of security in an uncertain world. I don't know anybody who wrote more about relationships than Jesus Christ. And he was spot on every one of his examples, every one of his parables. He elevated the role of relationship between husband and wife and father and son and daughter and family and grandparents and relations to a higher level beyond just regular responsibility of being a human. We are created in God's image. So when Jesus speaks to us about relationship, that's what he's talking to. He's talking about the love that has been created inside of us. We were created for love. God's very nature is love. God's very nature is forgiveness. The tie that binds us together individually is the sacred tie that should never be severed. Our children, like we adults, often make all sorts of grievous mistakes. But they need to know that there is one place that they can always go. They can always receive at this place forgiveness, acceptance, nurture, and love, and that should be the home. Part of our responsibility as an adult is to create this atmosphere of security that our children or our grandchildren should be able to come home again. Jesus is very famous for teaching one particular parable that's about a young man who went off to a foreign country. and he squandered his entire living. He came back home in literal defeat and disgrace. Luke tells us that when the father sees the child coming back home once again, that the father runs to the child. Now, that may not sound so all important, but old Jewish men don't ever run anywhere. So for Luke to tell us that he runs to his child is a sign of acceptance, and grace, and forgiveness, and he opens his arms and he welcomes that child back home once again. Everybody needs a home like that. Everybody. Everybody needs a home where we can find a healthy sense of our own self-identity. Everyone needs a home where the children are instructed in the values and the standards that will last a lifetime. Everybody needs to know that they can always and forever go back home. Mushy sentimentality? No. Authentic Christian faith. For God loves us that much. Happy Mother's Day. Would you bow your heads with me, please, and let's be prepared to sing the closing song. We've often heard it said that home is where the heart is. It's certainly true in this society where we are so mobile, so inclined to move from one state to the next and across the face of this earth and take jobs and occupations in places some kids never return from. We should always have that sense that the child can come home, regardless. We thank you for this gift that the mothers bring to our lives. But they certainly learned it through the person of Jesus Christ. Give you thanks in his name. Amen. Page number 357. If you want to read it out of your hymnal, go there, please. Verses 1, 2, and 6. Otherwise, it'll be on the big screen. Stand with me, please. Gracious Lord, we continue to thank you for the blessings of all the women in our lives, in our church, those who work, progress, and Bless us as we leave this place. May we know that we worshiped here in this house today. We've been touched. You, the women in our lives. It's in Jesus' name that we pray. And these people said,